From the John C. Hench Production Arts Studios in Peoria, Illinois, VideoMax Limited presents Midstate Magazine with your hosts, Kayla Neitz and Kyle Peck. The news with Aaron Morden and Danielle Heimski, featuring your Midstate reporting team. Sports with Katrina Baumgartner. Get Real with Nikki Garabrandt. Stephanie Robbins is on the beat. State of the Arts with Brooke James. Rebecca Williams is in the spotlight. Anna Tassi takes us about town. And About Crew with Noel Mefford. And now, from America's friendliest city, Midstate Magazine. Take it away, kids.
Good evening and welcome to Midstate Magazine. I'm your host, Kyle Peck.
And I'm Kayla Neitz.
All right, well, it's been recently revealed that there's been a second nurse that has gotten the Ebola virus.
Okay.
Her name is Amber Joy Vinson. She was part of the medical team that was taking care of Thomas Duncan.
So then I assume she contracted it in Texas. That's when they realized that she had it.
Yeah, and she was heading to a commercial flight, but she actually checked with the CDC to make sure if it was okay to board a commercial plane. And
what is it that eventually they deem whether or not you're okay to board or not?
They deemed that it was okay for her to board the plane because she didn't have a fever.
And that is actually what they did, the exact same thing for Thomas Duncan, correct?
Yes.
He didn't have a fever when he boarded, so they let him do it.
Yeah.
So what do you think of that?
I don't, that's not safe. It's really not safe. I would have just said, stay in Texas, make sure, keep monitoring, the Ebola virus.
Well, and not even just that it seems safer, that seems like it would be the protocol, doesn't it? Like,
right, yeah.
Just not even so much over the top protocol, just what you would do for basic standards of safety, because just because you're not symptomatic doesn't mean you don't necessarily have the infection.
Right.
And she was working so closely with Thomas Duncan, I'm surprised they didn't just assume that there's a large possibility that she could contract it.
Yeah, and so President Obama is going to take a more aggressive manner in making sure that it's going to keep under control.
Well, good. Let's hope that we see that soon.
Yeah. Well, now it's time to check in with the news team.
Good evening. Welcome to Midstate Magazine. I'm Aaron Morden.
And I'm Danielle Heimski. Let's take a look at the news.
Every dog has its day, and for some, that day was this past Sunday. The 18th annual Bark in the Park drew a large crowd to Peoria's riverfront to raise money. Merchandise and registration fees for the event brought in money for the Peoria Humane Society. Donations go toward animal rehabilitation and treatment. Those there with their canines said all animal lovers should support the event. Their goal for the day was to raise $50,000.
Election season is in full swing, and the Tazewell County Clerk's race has become hotly contested. Saturday morning, voters got the chance to hear from candidates vying for the Tazewell County Clerk position. Seeking re-election is Christy Webb, who has served as clerk for the past 20 years. The county clerk serves as a secretary to the county board, handles vital records, taxes, payroll, and election.
Mitsubishi sales keep driving up. Overall sales are up almost 30%. Sales in September alone were the best in 3 years, with more than 5,500 units sold. The most popular selling car is made right here in the heart of Illinois. The Outlander Sport had its best sales on record. In the U.S., all of them are made in Normal. It's an Outlander Sport powerhouse, with those cars coming off the line nearly every 2 minutes.
A Texas news radio station laid off all 47 of its reporters and replaced it with a new format. All Beyonce, all day. News 92 FM in Houston transitioned to the new format without explanation on Wednesday. The station is now playing a stream of Beyonce songs uninterrupted by commercials. Reports say that the News 92 had financial troubles. There is no word yet on when this new and unique format is supposed to end.
The body of Eric Thomas Duncan was cremated this past Friday. Duncan is the first person to be diagnosed with and die from Ebola on American soil. Since his diagnosis, the fear that the virus will become widespread in the U.S. has taken hold. Several recent scares and false alarms have raised questions about whether the health system in place can handle this deadly outbreak. It was feared Deputy Michael Monig was affected with Ebola while searching Duncan's apartment in Dallas. He has since tested negative for the disease and believes every precaution was taken.
Researchers may be much closer to unlocking the cure for type 1 diabetes. A team at Harvard University conducted tests on mice with type 1 diabetes. They used lab-made cells that produced insulin and controlled blood sugar levels for months, according to BBC News. Experts in the medical field call the test a tremendous step forward in the quest to cure the disease. Professors Doug Melton, the lead researcher, said, "We are just one preclinical test away from the finish line. More research is needed for the cells could be produced on a scale to cure diabetes in a human." Now let's go to Katrina for sports.
Thanks, Danielle. With the start of the 2014-15 NHL season, the Chicago Blackhawks are off to a strong 2-0 start. The Blackhawks won their second game of their season and their home opener against the Buffalo Sabres. Chicago won the game 6-2. The Blackhawks opened the game with 2 goals in the first 3 minutes of the game, and then scored 4 more goals in the third period. Chicago had an impressive offensive night with 47 shots on goal and the 6 goals. The offense was completely clicking with all 6 goals scored by a different player. The win shows the level of play the Blackhawks are capable of when the offense and defense are both playing great. IVC kept their slim playoff chances alive with an upset win over Bloomington Central Catholic. IVC won the game 6-0 with the help of 2 field goals by Jack Ressler. The win improves IVC's record to 2-4. The Gray Ghosts played a phenomenal defense game in the shutout victory. The defense caused 4 total turnovers with 2 interceptions and 2 fumble recoveries. Wyatt Schroeder and Trey Beatty combined for 5 sacks to turn in a great game to help the defense. This has been the team's best defensive performance of the year, according to IVC head coach Hines. With the great defensive performance, IVC handed Bloomington Central Catholic their first shutout since 2005. The Peoria Mustangs beat the St. Louis Junior Blues for their 6th win of the season. The Mustangs won the game 4-1 on home ice at the Owen Center. With the win, the Mustangs improved their home record to 3-1. Levi Armstrong had a great game for the Mustangs, scoring his 5th and 6th goals of the season. Armstrong scored the first goal of the game in the first. He also scored the last goal for the Mustangs for his 2nd score in the 3rd. Andrew Schofield and Austin Wisely accounted for other 2 goals of the game. Schofield scored in the 2nd, while Wisely opened up the 3rd with his 5th goal of the season. The Mustangs hope to continue their good play when they take on the Chicago Junior Bulldogs on Saturday, October 18th. That's all for sports. Back to you, Danielle.
Thanks, Katrina. Leaves and Beans shop in Campus Town is closing its doors. Our very own Anna Tassi caught up with owner James Cross to learn more about why the store is closing.
For over 30 years, Leaves and Beans has grown to be a big part of the Peoria community. However, the final curtain has suddenly fallen for their location on Bradley University's campus.
It had been in the works about 5 or 6 months. We were trying to figure out if there was anything in our control to make that store work better. They promised us a parking lot for our customers, and they also promised to build a 2nd duplicate tower, another building of tenants, so it would have been an extra 200. So that's why we went in there, no problem at all. This would be a great location for us.
As time went on, Mr. Cross realized that there were no plans for change and their promises were not being kept.
Within a year of being there, they completely disregarded any idea that they had and decided not to open up a 2nd building or build a 2nd tower, and then also refused to do anything to help us with our parking situation.
Many Leaves and Beans customers showed concern and reached out to the owner about the unexpected closing.
We did get a lot of feedback from customers. It's always nice to see. It shows that even though you weren't making the numbers to make that store self-sustainable, you would definitely have an impact on people's lives, and they did love you.
Although the owner made a decision to shut down the Campus Town shop, he would love to come back to the Bradley area in the future.
Our number 1 reason why we had to shut down was just our own landlord issues. It had nothing to do with the neighborhood, it had nothing to do with anyone else. Obviously the road construction on Main Street didn't help. They did reduce traffic flow. So since we were a little too far away from campus for kids to walk to our store, and then since we didn't have customers driving by our store, that decreased, and then not even a parking lot. It kind of was a recipe for failure for that location. So I would gladly go to a different area and around the Bradley area in a heartbeat.
For more information on Leaves and Beans menu items, hours, and locations, please visit www.lnbcoffee.com. For Midstate Magazine, I'm Anna Tassi.
I think Leaves and Beans will be really missed. I've definitely spent a lot of nights there cramming for my finals.
Definitely.
Well, that wraps up Midstate for the week. I'm Katrina Baumgartner.
I'm Aaron Morton.
And I'm Jill Hiemski. Have a great night and be sure to join us next week.
Thank you, news team.
So let me ask you a question.
Sure.
How are you a Harry Potter fan?
I am a Harry Potter fan. I do enjoy the movies. I've never actually read any of the books, but whenever they come on TV, I usually try and watch them.
Okay. Have you ever wondered what it's like to actually play Quidditch in real life?
Sure.
All right.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. Well, there is a new documentary called Mudbloods.
Okay.
And it started off as a Quidditch team from UCLA who worked all of its way up to New York to compete at the World Cup in 2011.
Wow.
So now you can actually watch that on demand, iTunes, or on the film's website at www.mudbloodsmovie.com.
Okay, very cool. So what are some ways, I know in the movie they show a little bit about how they're actually flying on a broom.
Yeah.
And then what is the thing called, a snitch?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll get back to that in just a moment, okay? Let's see who Noelle interviewed for About Crew.
It takes a lot of responsibility to sit in the director's chair. Find out this week as we go behind the scenes with Midstate Magazine's director.
The responsibilities of being a director are I have to prepare for the show ahead of time. Once the producer is done with the script, I get to go in. There's a specific program that we use, and I get to put in my commands. I'm basically in charge of running the whole entire thing. I tell everyone basically what to do.
Along with Murby's duties as director, she makes a habit to come in an hour early before each show.
I come here, I usually try to get here around like 5 or 5:30. Make sure everything runs smooth.
When asked what she looks forward to every episode, Murby responded with,
I look forward the most is being able to interact with other people. I've met a lot of people here that I think they're really passionate about what they do. I feel like there's so many creative minds in here, and there's so many hardworking people that I really look forward to that part and to do, I think, the best that I can do. I get excited when, at the end of the day, we have a show that had like the minimum mistakes.
With About Crew, I'm Noelle Mefford.
Thank you, Noelle. We were just talking about the Quidditch game.
Yeah.
Now, I was curious, what are some ways that they actually modify it so you can play it in real life? Because in the movie, they're flying around on a broom.
Yeah.
How do they do that?
The kids are not flying on brooms.
I would assume,
they actually
right?
have a broom.
That would be very interesting if they were.
Yeah, they have a broom on one hand, and they actually have, an open hand in the other. So this open hand that you have can be used to throw hoops.
Okay.
You can run around at any given point, but
so you do have to run with a broom.
You do have to run with a broom. I think there's
that definitely makes it harder.
Yeah, I think you have to make a couple of steps.
Okay.
Like before you have to pass it to somebody, but you do have like a 10-point, a 5-point, and a 1-point shot.
Interesting.
And you can make up to 50 points. I don't really know whether how they implement the bludger or the snitch yet, but it somehow ties in.
Okay, very cool. I'd be interested to play that game. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I also heard a story about this couple in Florida who built their dream house, or they were trying to build their dream house. They had all the blueprints, and they hired their contractor, and I think they spent over $680,000, or close to $1 million. They spent a lot of money on this. And then once the contractor was done, he came to them and he said, your house is done. It's exactly what you want, but we built it on the wrong lot. So obviously they were not too happy about that. I know there's some negotiating going on.
Yeah,
but
that's pretty sad. Now let's check in with Taylor on In the Spotlight.
Hi, I'm Taylor Hurnett, filling in for Rebecca Williams, and this is In the Spotlight. Demi Lovato is engaged to a 5-year-old. Demi is in the midst of her Neon Lights World Tour. While at her last stop in Moline, Illinois, a special little boy caught her attention. 5-year-old Grant Heels held a sign that said, "I have a ring for you." The Really Don't Care singer brought the young boy on stage where he made it official and proposed to Demi. Demi then asked for a kiss on the cheek, which he happily obliged. The singer gushed, "I love you so much and you are so sweet, and I can't wait to see you at the wedding." It's a moment we are sure Grant will remember forever. Pretty Little Liars star Ian Harding was honored at the Lupus Foundation of America's event Hope Gala this past week. Ian was honored for all the work he has put into the organization with his advocacy, participating in the foundation's walk program, and even creating special t-shirts that raised $50,000 for lupus research, education, and advocacy. Ian's mother was diagnosed with lupus when he was 7 years old, which is where his passion for the foundation comes from. After lots of speculation of who would perform at this year's Super Bowl, it looks like the NFL finally made its decision. Katy Perry will be performing at the 49th Super Bowl halftime show. Runners-up included Coldplay and Rihanna. Upon informing the musical acts of their candidacy a couple months back, the NFL asked the musical representatives if they would be willing to contribute a portion of their post-Super Bowl income to the league in exchange for the halftime gig. Reports now say the NFL may have vetoed that idea. Either way, if it's anything like Katy's Prismatic tour, it should be a great halftime feature. For In the Spotlight, I'm Taylor Hurnett.
Thanks, Taylor. Well, speaking of entertainment, it's been recently announced that Warner Brothers has actually announced that the DC movies are going to be coming out.
Okay.
At least 10 of them.
Cool.
All the
I'm
way
not
through
actually
2020.
familiar with those movies.
Yeah, so it's going to be 2 DC movies for each year, starting in 2016.
Okay.
So there's going to be Superman versus Batman. There's going to be 2 Justice League movies. There's going to be some new movie called The Suicide Squad. But then they're going to fill out the rest of the Justice League, which will include Wonder Woman, Flash, Shazam, Aquaman, Cyborg, and a Green Lantern reboot.
Okay, very cool. Actually, another movie that just came out, Dracula.
Yes.
Have you heard of that?
Yes, I have.
I did go and see it.
How was it?
It was good. There was a little bit. It was a little bit cheesy at times, but overall it was good. I definitely think that there's going to be a sequel. So if you want to check that out. Let's see what Pablo's cooked up for us in Let's Eat.
Hi, this is Tim Fluga for Midstate Magazine. I'm replacing Pablo this week, and this week we're in front of Campus Town, and more specifically, Bellacino's. And no more explaining. I'm hungry, you're hungry, so let's eat.
When you walk into Bellacino's, you enter a casual Italian-style pizzeria, but it's also well known for its grinders. For those of you who don't know what a grinder is, it's pretty much a sub, except significantly better, with no used-to-be fat guy endorsing him. If you look at their menu, there's a wide variety of pizza, pasta, and sandwiches. You could have a choice between a 9-inch or 18-inch grinder, so you know, go big or go home. I decided to order my favorite grinder, the Chicken Bacon Ranch. Everything about my sandwich made me quite the happy reporter, from the crispy bread to the melted cheese to the always delicious bacon. You can bet that I'm coming back. With Let's Eat, I'm Tim Fluga.
Thank you, Tim Fluga.
Well, that looked delicious. I've
Yeah,
actually
it
never
did.
been there before, but I might check it out based on how good his meal looked.
Yeah, definitely.
That actually reminded me of a new thing that's coming out. Instead of putting calories on things, they'll of course still have it on the nutrition facts, but on food such as pizza, they were giving examples like you would have to jump rope for 45 minutes in order to burn off 2 pieces of pepperoni pizza. So what they're trying to do is put things in perspective for the people who are having trouble losing weight or having trouble staying healthy, because a lot of times calories just don't register with people.
Okay.
So instead they try to say, like, not 250 calories, but you'll have to, walk an hour and a half to burn off that cheeseburger, or you're gonna have to run 2 hours to burn off that quesadilla, or whatever you're gonna eat.
Okay.
And so I think that will really help people, is that really worth it to me to do that?
Who are they?
I just read this in an article that people are putting it out there. So
all right.
I don't know who did the research on it. That would be interesting to see if it was a science-oriented thing, or, but I think it's pretty interesting. That would definitely help me. If I was trying to lose weight, that would help me see, would jump roping for 45 minutes be worth these 2 pieces of pizza, or should I go for something healthier like turkey or chicken or something like that?
I mean, it just depends on what you're feeling like is a good day for you to have, like, if you want a turkey sandwich,
sure,
just eat healthy.
Let's check out with the latest in music with Stephanie on The Beat.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Robbins with On The Beat. What do you get when you combine an old-time jazz singer and a 21st century pop star? You get the collaborative album of Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga. Bennett and Gaga had first met backstage in 2011 after she had performed at a gala in New York City, where Bennett asked her to sing a duet with him on his upcoming album. About a year later, Bennett and Gaga decided to team up and create their full album. Their album, Cheek to Cheek, was released last month and consists of 11 songs that follow the jazz standards of popular jazz composers. Bennett and Gaga's ultimate desire for releasing this album was to introduce jazz music to this generation. They believe that the tracks can be appealing to everyone who listens. The first 2 singles from the album, Anything Goes and I Can't Give You Anything But Love, both reached #1 on Billboard's Jazz Digital Songs chart upon release. The album itself is currently #1 on Billboard's Top Jazz Albums chart. It took Bennett and Gaga over a year to record the album in New York City, and Bennett's quartet was present among the recordings, along with many other jazz musicians that are featured on the album. The album deviates from Gaga's usual pop tracks because Bennett encouraged her to sing different songs. Gaga admitted that she was a little nervous about recording with Bennett, and she also said that her inspiration for singing came from the late jazz singer Amy Winehouse. Gaga and Bennett had spent time promoting Cheek to Cheek in New York City, but they have big plans for the end of the year. They're having a New Year's Eve concert at the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas, where they will be performing new songs. It will be their first time the two singers have performed together in Las Vegas. For On the Beat, I'm Stephanie Robbins.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Now, we were just talking about health and food and everything like that, and it reminded me of something that I think is really cool that's coming out. Apple is releasing a watch, and they've never made watches before, so it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be really cool, because I don't know if you're really into fitness, this will be something you might want to look into, because basically what it'll do is you wear it, and it's got little sensors on the bottom of it, and it can take your heart rate, and it'll tell you how long you've been running, how intensely your workout has been. So if you're walking at a really brief pace, then it'll tell you like how many calories you're burning while you're doing that. And it'll also, it's got so many features to it, it's incredible. It has a big screen on it. It'll tell you if you have a text message on your phone. You can change your music from the watch. You can contact people from the watch, so you can like literally press a button and call people from the watch. You can talk right into it.
I've always been wanting that.
Okay, yeah. Do you like wearing watches?
I mean, I like wearing watches, but I think it's just really cool technology. I think it's like the next gen where you can just talk to your like watch and say, "Hey, how's it going?"
Exactly, and I just think it's Apple's always coming out with really great products. They just came out with the iPhone 6. This is supposed to come out very early 2015. So I'm hoping like right in January or February or something like that, it'll come out.
I might be interested for that for a late Christmas present.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The one with the sport that does all that calorie stuff is about $350.
Yeah, okay.
Let's go to Brooke and see who our special guest is on State of the Arts.
Hello, and welcome to State of the Arts. I'm your host, Brooke Janes. Today we're excited to welcome Kinza Hagerup, a music business major at Bradley. She plays piano and accompanies many different groups and singers, including Tracy Furling, our guest from last week. She has also been in several ensembles on Bradley's campus. Welcome back, Kinza.
Thank you very much for having me today.
Yeah, no problem. So we got a taste of what you do last week, and you did a very good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, so how long have you been playing piano?
I've been playing piano for 14 years.
14 years?
Yeah.
Okay. So how old are you now?
I'm 21, so I've been playing since I was in 2nd grade.
Okay, well done. And do you only play piano?
I also play organ. I just started taking lessons in January, which has been kind of a new feat in and of itself, but I love it and it's a lot of fun.
Okay, sure. And I'm not too familiar with key instruments, so what's the difference between the two?
There are stops that you have to pull out, which make it more difficult to get different sounds. You also have the feet, so like it's a whole entire other like keyboard down at your feet, which you have to learn how to do. And then also, it's not just one keyboard. There can be 2, 3, and sometimes even 4 if it's like a really elaborate organ.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you prefer the organ over the piano now?
Sometimes I do. It's different strengths and weaknesses. I do enjoy both. I make a lot of money playing organ at a church right now. A lot of churches are looking for organists, so it's something that I'm in demand for, which is really nice.
Nice. And what are you going to play for us on piano today?
I will be playing Vesuvius by David Lons.
Okay, perfect. If you want to head over.
Thank you.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much, Kinza. And thank you for joining us. That's all we have for this week. Join us next time to see more talent from around the Peoria area. For State of the Arts, I'm Brooke Janes.
Thank you, Brooke. I'm so glad that Brooke brought Kinza back on because we didn't really get to talk to her. She was on last week with the young lady who sang opera, who did a fantastic job, and Kinza accompanied her in piano.
Yes.
So I was really glad to see her back because that was incredible.
Yeah, she's a fantastic pianist. I actually gotten to know her way back when. She's currently in a troupe called Bradley Chorale.
Okay.
And she's been a singer and their pianist for their class. And they actually go around and go to different schools, different churches to basically perform a lot of these chorale songs.
And she's actually making money in it, like she said, being an organ player as well.
Yeah.
And that's always been one of the most impressive instruments for me because you're doing such different things with both your hands.
Right.
It's like trying to rub your belly and pat your head at the same time. It's like it just doesn't work for me. But they actually say that if you can do that, if you can use your left hand, do something different than your right hand is doing, then you can actually be better at math and science, and because it's utilizing both sides of your brain at the same time.
Right. Yeah. It's very technical.
Yeah.
I guess.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've never actually been very inept with instruments.
I mean, I can play a few piano songs,
Can you?
but it's not that proficiently.
Okay, well, I was going to say, if you can do it that proficiently without ever practicing, then we've got a prodigy on our hands.
No, I'm a better singer than a pianist.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Well, we've talked about a lot of things today. Let's hope that the Ebola thing that, like you said, President Obama is supposed to be putting in some more standards of safety. Let's hope he actually does that because we would really hate to see this continue to get out of hand like it already seems like it's doing. So.
All right, well, that's all from Midstate Magazine for this week. I'm your host, Kyle Peck.
And I'm Kayla Needs. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.